Chapter 18, Standards of Conduct. Section 18A, Way of Life. 18.1, United States Air Force Way of Life. United States Air Force employees are required to comply with prescribed standards of conduct in all official matters, as well as when off duty. This means military and civilian airmen, regular Air Force Reserve, and Air National Guard are all expected to maintain high standards of honesty, responsibility, and accountability, as well as adhere to the United States Air Force core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. As airmen, we are proud of our high standards, adhere to them, and hold our fellow airmen accountable. Air Force Standards. The United States Air Force's mission is critical to national security, global stability, and international relations. Each member has specific responsibilities for accomplishing his or her part in the mission. AFI 1-1 states the importance of the United States Air Force's mission and inherent responsibility to the nation requires its members to adhere to higher standards than those expected in civilian life. While current Department of Defense and United States Air Force policies provide specific guidance on standards, leaders must ensure employees are kept informed of the United States Air Force standards and take timely and appropriate actions to ensure employee standards meet the spirit and intent of United States Air Force policy on proper conduct. 18.2, United States Air Force Publications Process. The United States Air Force shall prepare all publications in accordance with DAFI 33360, Publications and Forms Management, 1 December 2015. This includes, but is not limited to, policy directives, instructions, manuals, mission directives, and operating instructions. Additional guidance regarding the drafting of mission directives and operating instructions found in this guidance memorandum does not apply to mission directives, which are governed by Headquarters Operating Instruction, HOI 90-1, Headquarters Air Force Mission Directives and Department of Defense Issuances Program, 10 January 2018, or AFI 38101, Manpower and Organization, 29 August 2019. DAF Policy Directive, DAF-PD. DAF-PDs are orders of the Secretary of the Air Force and contain directive policy statements that guide Department of the Air Force implementation of Department of Defense issuances or other authorities outside but binding on the Department of the Air Force that require Department of Air Force action. They also initiate, govern, delegate authorities' responsibilities and or regulate actions within specified areas of responsibility by Department of Air Force activities. DAFPDs are written clearly and concisely in a manner that an average air and space professional can understand. DAFIs, AFIs, and Space Force Instructions, SPFIs. DAFIs, AFIs, and SPFIs are orders of the Secretary of the Air Force and are certified and approved at the DAF level. DAFIs, AFIs, and SPFIs generally instruct readers on what to do, such as direct action, ensure compliance to standard actions across the DAF. DAFIs, AFIs, and SPFIs are written clearly and concisely and in a manner that an average air and space professional can understand. DAFIs, AFIs, and SPFIs may be supplemented at any level below the DAF unless otherwise stated in the publication. DAF Manual, DAF MAN, AF MAN, or Space Force Manual, SPF MAN. DAF MANs, AF MANs, and SPF MANs are orders of the Secretary of the Air Force and generally instruct readers on how to, and may either 1. An extension of a DAFI, AFI, or SPFI, providing detailed procedure and additional technical guidance for performing standard tasks or supporting education and training programs, or 2. An alternative to a DAFI, AFI, or SPFI if appropriate. DAF MANs, AF MANs, and SPF MANs intended for use only by air and space professionals who have graduated from special schools, such as flight training, intelligence, or maintenance schools, may include more specialized and technical language. Publication series numbers. Series numbers of publications are organized based on United States Air Force Specialty Code. Table 18.1 is provided here as a quick reference. Non-directive publications. Non-directive publications are informal and suggest guidance that may be modified appropriately to fit existing or forecasted circumstances. Complying with publications in this category is expected but not mandatory. United States Air Force personnel use these publications as reference aids or guides. Non-directive publications include pamphlets, basic and operational doctrine, tactics, techniques, and procedures documents, directories, handbooks, catalogs, visual aids, and product announcements. 18.3. On duty 24/7. As stated in AFI 1-1, the mission must be accomplished even at great risk and personal sacrifice. Airmen are always subject to duty, including weekends, holidays, and while on leave. Airmen, if so directed by a competent authority, must report for duty at any time, at any location, for as long as necessary. For the mission to succeed, we must always give our best. We must strive to be resilient, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and be prepared to meet the challenges inherent to being a member of a fighting force, both in the deployed environment and at home station. Due to the importance of the United States Air Force mission, the dangers associated with military service, national and international influences, and potential implications relevant to global operations, the United States Air Force enforces more restrictive rules and elevated standards than those of the civilian community. General Orders. General orders are often published to provide clear and concise guidance specifically tailored to maintaining good order and discipline in the deployed setting. Our current operations place us in areas where local laws and customs or mission requirements prohibit or restrict certain activities that are generally permissible in our society. We must respect and abide by these restrictions to preserve relations with our host nation and support military operations with friendly forces. No mission, particularly a combat mission, can succeed without the discipline and resilience produced by strict compliance with these rules. Members who fail to comply with general orders may be subject to punishment under the Uniform Code of Military Justice or adverse administrative actions. 18.4. Responsibility. United States Air Force standards must be uniformly known, consistently applied, and non-selectively enforced. Accountability is critically important to good order and discipline of the force. Failure to ensure accountability will hinder the trust of the American public, the very people living under the Constitution we swore to support and defend, and who look to us, the members of their nation's United States Air Force, to embrace and live by the standards that are higher than those in the society we serve. Airmen have a responsibility to learn these standards well enough not only to follow them, but to articulate them clearly to subordinates and enforce proper observation by other members. For additional information on standards of conduct, refer to DoD Directive 5500.07, Standards of Conduct, 29 November 2007, DoD 5500.07-R, and AFI 1-1.